Experiential Learning Theory. Experiential Learning Theory by David Cobb and Jan Dewey. Learning is the process whereby knowledge is created through the transformation of the experience transacting between the person and the environment and involving the whole person. Experiential learning theory is one of the most widely used learning models. Experiential learning theory is based on the premise that a person learns from direct experience or learns by doing it. It also focuses on the learner's perspective and on the personal development. In learning, the individual guides the learner's process as opposed to the conventional method. Experiential learning theory works in four stages: the concrete experience or being involved in the new experiences. Concrete experience, it is new experience or situation is encountered or reinterpretation of an existing experiences. The second one is reflective observations, watching others or developing observations about one's own experience. Reflective observation of the new experiences of particular importance or any inconsistencies between experience and understanding. Third, abstract conceptualization, creating theories to explain observations. Abstract conceptualization is the reflection that gives rise to a new idea or modification of the existing abstract concept. The fourth one is active experimentation, using theories to solve problems and decision makings. The learners apply their ideas to the world around them to see what happens next. The learning styles, the accommodators, or the concrete experiences, and the active experimenter. These learners are good with complexity and are able to see relationship among aspects of a system. These learners are motivated by question what would happen if I did this. They look for significance in learning experiences and consider what they can do. Second one is the assimilator or the abstract conceptualization or reflective observer. They like accurate, organized delivery of information and they tend to respect the knowledge of the expert. These learners are motivated to answer the question, what is there to know? They aren't that comfortable randomly exploring a system and they like to get the right answer to the problem. The third one is convergers, the abstract conceptualization and the active experimenter. Application and usefulness of information is increased by understanding detailed information about the system's operation. These learners motivated to discover the relevancy or the how of the situation. The fourth is divergers, the reflective observer and the concrete experiences. They like to reason from concrete, specific information and to explore what a system has to offer, and they prefer to have information presented to them in a detailed, systematic, reasoned manner. These learners are motivated to the relevancy or the why of the situation. Experiential learning cycle. Learners begin with a concrete experience, which leads them to observe and reflect on their experiences. The learners then piece their thoughts together to create abstract concepts about what occurred, which will serve as guide for the future actions. With these guides in place, the learners actively test what they have constructed, lead to a new experiences, and renewing the learning cycle. Perception alone is not sufficient for learner. Something must be done with it. Transformation alone cannot represent learners, for there must be something be transformed. An effective experiential learning can only take place when individual completes a cycle of 4 stages: the concrete experiences, reflective observation, abstract conceptualization, and active experimentation.
Experiential learning theory. Applications of experiential learning theory. Cooperation education, and internship, and service learning. Cooperation education. It is a structured educational strategy integrating classroom studies with work-based learning related to a student's academic or career goals. It also helps students to work in groups. It arranges and mixes students of different level of ability and learning into groups, and it focuses on group success rather than individual success. Second one is the internship. It is typically a temporary position which may be paid or unpaid, with an emphasis on the job training, making it similar to an apprenticeship. The purpose of an internship is to provide real-world experience that enables you to put everything you've learned into action. And the last one is the service learning. It's a teaching and learning strategy that integrates meaningful community service with instruction and reflection to enrich the learning experiences, teach civic responsibility, and strengthen communities with the emphasis on meeting community needs. This approach, where a student learns theories in the classroom and at the same time volunteers with an agency, usually a non-profit or social service group, and engage in reflection activities to deepen their understanding of what is being taught. Integrating experiential learning in the classroom. Number 1 is to set up the experience by introducing learners to the topic and covering basic material that the learner must know beforehand. Number 2, engage the learner in a realistic experience that provides intrigue as well as depth of involvement. Example of this is the mock trial. Number 3, allow for discussion of the experience, including the happenings that occurred and how the individuals involved felt. The example is the discussion afterwards. Number 4, the learner will then begin to formulate concepts and hypotheses concerning the experience through discussion as well as individual reflection. This is the discussion afterwards, but also could be done with journaling. Number 5, allow the learners to experiment with their newly formed concepts and experiences. This is interpreting current conflict in conflict resolution scenario. And the last one is the further reflection and experimentation. It is a discussion, but could also be done through journaling. Same with number 4. Criticisms of ELT or experiential learning theory. Number one is the concrete experience part of the learning cycle is not appropriately explained in the theory that remains largely unexplored. Number two is the idea of immediate and concrete experience is problematic and unrealistic. And number three, the concept outlined ELT are too ill-defined and open to various interpretations.